have completed the subnetting of class C, but what is the use of subnet ID? Before subnetting, we have discussed one scenario from 1983 to 1985. Our goal was to communicate R1 LAN with R2 LAN, and we have purchased one NID of class C, and we are thinking our requirement can be completed in this range from 1 to 254, because our actual requirement is 77 and 77 is less than 254. That's why we have applied the IP address on the R1 LAN, and when we applied the IP address on the serial 0, router provide one error message, NID of serial 0 overlap with Ethernet, because the basic principle of router was, at that time we have designed the router different NID per port. That's why the router will not take the same NID on two different ports. Then we have purchased the 3 NID of class C, and we have completed our task. But the problem was wastage of money and wastage of IP address. Then we have developed the IP saving techniques. The name of techniques was subnetting, and we have completed the subnetting of the class C. And after subnetting, we want to use the subnet of class C in this scenario, and we want to see how much money we can save and how much IP address we can save. The next topic is design and implementation of network scenario with subnetting. Design and implementation. Design and implementation of network scenario of network scenario with subnetting. (1985 to 1987). R1 router is connected to R2, and we require two IP address between R1 and R2, serial 0 and serial 1, and we require the 50 IPs on R1 LAN, and we require the 25 IPs in R2 LAN. And in the last lecture we have discussed how to proceed for subnetting for this network 199.10.20.0/24. We have created the 4 subnet of equal size, and the first subnet was 199.10.20.0/26. Second subnet was 199.10.64/26, and the third subnet was 199.10.128/26, and the last subnet was 199.10.192/26. We have divided this class full NID 199.10.20.0/24 into 4 parts in the last lecture, and each part contains 64 block size. The block size in this subnet is 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 128 and 64, 64, 128, and 128 plus 128 is equal to 256 because this network has total space 256. And we have applied this network. We want to apply this network 199.10.20.0 on R1 LAN because our requirement is 50 IP address and our subnet have 62 valid IP address. We can apply this network 199.10.20.0/26, and the valid IP address in this subnet is from .12.62. We can use the 50 IP address, but rest of the IP address we can use if we have the infrastructure, but if we don't have the infrastructure we can use only 50 IP address. We are applying 199.10.20.64/26 between the R1 and R2, and the valid IP range in this is .65 to .126. We need only 2 IP address, and rest of the IP address we cannot use. Here in case of R1 LAN we can use in future if we have the infrastructure, while in case of the WAN connectivity between the R1 and R2 we are applying the block size 64. We have the total valid IP address in this subnet is 62. We are using only 2 IP address. We cannot use in future on this connectivity more than 2 IP address. Totally wastage. 60 IP address is wastage on the R1 and R2 LAN, R1 and R2 WAN link. We are using only 2 IP address, and rest of the IP address we cannot use it. And on this LAN of R2 we can apply this subnet 192.9.10.20.128/26, and the valid range in this subnet is .1292.190. Total space in 199.10.20.128 is 64. Block size, usable space is 62 IP address, but currently we are using the 25 IP address. We can use rest of the IP address if we have the infrastructure, no problem, but here is totally wastage between R1 and R2 WAN link. After the subnetting we can see here clearly we are using only this subnet, and this subnet, and 199.10.20.192/26 is unused. We can use in future. This subnet is totally free. We can use somewhere in our organization, or if we don't have the infrastructure we can return to the ISP, we will get the money. And in this scenario we have saved this subnet plus 2 more subnet class C 2 NIDs also. We have saved this one plus 199.10.20.192. Why we are saving class C2 network? Because in the previous scenario we are using one NID, this one, this is the another major NID, and this is the another major NID. Now we are not using this one, we are not using this one, we are using this one only, and we have divided this network into 4 equal parts, and we are using only 3 parts of this network. 4th part of this network is free, plus this network is totally free, and this network is totally free. How much IP address we are using in this scenario? We are using 64 IP address in R1 LAN, 64 IP address between R1 and R2 WAN link, and 64 IP address in R2 LAN. 192 total IP address we are using. While in case of the previous scenario, we use 3 NID, 256 into 3. How much IP address we are using? In that case, we are paying for the 3 NID. In that case, we can pay to ISP only for 64, 64 and 64. After the subnetting, we can get money back for class C 2 NIDs plus for this subnet 199.10.20.192 from the ISP. If we doesn't want to keep this NID and this NID along with us. If we want to return to the ISP, we will get the money. If we want to keep with us, we can use in future anywhere, no problem. That is the benefit of the subnetting. But it's still drawback in the subnetting. We will overcome this drawback with the help of the VLSM in the next topic. Note down please.